You just wrote this killer metal guitar riff, but now you're kind of stuck. You're like, okay, well, what happens next? What do I need to add to it? How do I expand on this? Well, I'm going to give you a few ideas, techniques, and concepts in this video that will help you turn that riff into maybe a complete song. So let's demonstrate by starting out with just a very simple riff. This one here. What I often do is, instead of adding notes or even taking away notes, I won't even mess with the notes, like, okay, well, there's the riff. I immediately start thinking about a chord progression that's going to complement that riff and that's going to fit and go with it, because the chord progression, and we'll say, power chords in this case. When I say chord progression, I'm not necessarily talking about like playing like, not talking about cowboy chords, but hey, we could do some cowboy metal, I guess. But chord progression could be just some power chords. Just start there. And what I would say is, don't overcomplicate this. Maybe think 3, maybe 4 power chords. So right off the bat, if you took one of your riffs that you just wrote, that killer riff that's been hanging out, recorded on your phone or sitting in your DAW somewhere, if you just add a simple chord progression to it, you're onto something. You're going to be onto finishing that song. And all we did, again, we just took a chord that the riff was based on, E power chord, and we just really added 3 more chords to that. Had the E power chord, a G, we threw a B flat in there, kind of makes it sound a little evil, then the A power chord. And as you go along, if you want to add some more little techniques to it, we could do something like this. Now, what I would say do, if you already have that riff, of course watch the rest of the video, but if you wanted to pause real quick and just pull that riff out and just run through it a few times and then start adding some chords to that after you play the riff, and just kind of hear it out and feel it out. What fits? What is fitting your riff? If I go here, does that fit? Or if I go here, does that sound better? Again, there's no right or wrong answers here. Just play around with those two concepts, the riffs and then the chord progression you're going to add to it. It doesn't have to be a lot of chords, could be just 3 or 4, however many you want, whatever fits your song and your idea. Now, before we continue, I want to make sure you have my free Metal Riffs and Licks, the ultimate metal guitar practice guide. If you don't have that, grab a copy. There's a link in the description of this video. I give this away to all my YouTube subscribers, my way of saying thank you, so grab a copy after the video. Now, the next thing I like to do is go somewhere a little different with the song. So we've got the riff, we've got the chord progression after that, but I kind of want this thing to sound a little bit different. I want to have some sort of contrast. And again, this isn't the right or wrong thing. You may just keep it heavy and keep it on those low notes. That's perfectly fine. But for this, and maybe this is something for you to consider, I'm thinking let's step outside just a little bit in texture. And by the way, this video is being filmed totally off the cuff. You and I, we're sitting together right now jamming in the room. We are making this stuff up as we go because that's what real life is like. So let's move on with this riff. We'll play the chord progression and I'll just kind of go into what I'm thinking after that, or kind of what I'm feeling at the time, and then I'll explain it. Now there are a couple of techniques and concepts sort of married together here, and I'll explain those. So remember, I wanted something different. You can stay on the low notes, that's perfectly fine, but I wanted to branch outside of that. I wanted a different texture. So I went over to the A power chord. We're sitting around the E power chord here playing those lower notes, but I branched out and I'm like, let me go somewhere else. I feel this thing going somewhere else. So I just tested another chord. I'm like, okay, well that's cool. And a concept that I added to this was, let me just hang on that power chord, but change the second note of the power chord. So instead of playing a bunch of riffs, I kind of made the power chord into its own riff by playing some different notes for that next note of the power chord. So instead of this, I changed that second note several times. Watch the notes I play on the D string. So and I don't want to hang on that concept too long. I just wanted to show you what I was doing. And again, I'm simply changing that second note of the power chord, but keeping that root note, the open A string, just keeping that constant throughout. And I can hear in my head already the bass kind of driving that note, the bass guitar kind of driving that note as well. So that would be something really cool. I need to change strings on my bass here, by the way. That's going to happen tomorrow probably. But in any case, that's one of the concepts, one of the little techniques that I thought would sound cool with that. Now, I may go back later and change that, but this is one of those cool things. If you can't think of anything else, it's like, okay, I went to this other chord, but I'm not really sure what to do with it. What would sound good? Well, try changing the second note of those power chords around a little bit and then see where that takes you. Now, I did that for a while, but I'm like, okay, well, I don't want it just to stay on the A power chord. I want something after that. I want something that's going to transition into the next thing, whatever that may be. So let me play this real quick and I'll explain what I do at the end here. Whoa, what was that? That was something a little different. Again, a little bit different character. So that was something different, and that's something you can think about is just kind of like picking out some single notes here and there and arpeggiating those notes. So now you've got the riff, you've got the chord progression, but you've got this other layer of music that you just added to your riff. So if you want to pause the video again right now and kind of work this part out a little bit and then come back to it, because next we're going into some different territory. Now I'm thinking about adding something completely different here. You know, we've been playing downstrokes this entire time. So I'm thinking about just throwing in a part to the song where it's a little bit more aggressive. So if I end that last part, let me share what I'm thinking here. If I end that last part on the F and the G, we'll play the A part. What I did just now is I kept the same cadence almost, but I just changed the picking up a little bit. I also changed keys. I changed power chords that we're playing, that we're basing this on, so I changed keys, but I started alternate picking. We're at the same tempo, but I started alternate picking those notes. This can really give the song just kind of like a new direction. It's like, okay, we're going down this road here, but we see this like this dirt road that looks kind of interesting. Let's veer off to that and just see what's down there. That's kind of what we did. We just changed the picking technique. So the thing I want you to think about is if your riff and your progressions and everything, if you've been using mainly downstrokes for the most part, maybe switch it up, try changing the picking pattern. So we just went again, and we went to another chord as well. So we went to the B power chord. Now, I did not play that exactly like I played it earlier because, again, you and I were doing this off the cuff. We're just making this stuff up as we go. Part of the beauty of that is as you go throughout adding these different parts to your riffs, you're going to want to play some of the things, some of the parts a little differently, because you're going to hear certain things as you go through this several times. And this is the part of the process. It's part of the songwriting process here. So B power chord, then I went to a C power chord. I threw some variations in there as well. A power chord, then back to the C power chord. Kind of gives it that little twist. But again, the biggest thing that we did, we just changed our picking technique. So this is something to think about when you get stuck. You're like, okay, well, the riff is going this way. Maybe you're alternate picking the entire time. Well, maybe the next part of the song, maybe back off a little bit and let chords ring out, or vice versa. So just think of the contrast. Think of the opposite of what you've been doing. And the picking technique oftentimes is something that's real easy to change up, whether going into alternate picking from downstrokes or vice versa. So at this point, you've got your riff, you've got a chord progression that you've added to that riff. We're actually starting to build a song now. After that, you went to a different chord, and you kind of hung on that one power chord and changed that second note of that power chord up a little bit. Then maybe you ended that by arpeggiating some notes. You've got this whole thing just building and building. After that, you change the picking pattern. You change the picking technique. Okay, well, now we're doing this instead. We took that alternate route, the scenic route, if you will. So now you're starting to build something that's really, really creative. So one more piece I want to share with you here, and let's just play this through real quick, and I'm just going to kind of go into whatever I feel like going into after this. I'll probably chop these in half so it's not so long. So a few things that we did here, more contrast here that we added to the song. So one thing, we went back to our original note, basing everything on the E power chord. So we went E to A to B, and then we went back to E. And this time we didn't play the same riff, but we played something different, and we kind of made it sound chuggier. If that's not a word, I guess it is now. Chuggier, that's our word of the day. But that's one contrast that we implemented, right? Kind of went back to home, but changed things up a little bit. We also had a contrast of picking once again. That B riff was based on alternate picking. Well, we went back to downstrokes. And then we added some cool single note riffs towards the end there. So you could pause here and take everything you've done up to this point. You've got your riff, you've got your chord progression. We went to an A, did some cool things there. We added some arpeggiated notes there. Then we went to another chord, based a riff off another chord in another key, but we added the alternate picking. After that, we pulled back, went back to our original note, played something different, made it chuggier, and kind of went back to that, just that real heavy style of playing, that heavy downstroke style. And then we added some cool single note riffs at the end. So at this point, you've got really enough for an entire song. You took your one riff and you built all these other pieces to that riff. So you're creating a song at this point. What I would recommend doing now is just go back to each part and tighten things up a little bit. You know, as you play this multiple times, you'll start changing little things here and there. Little things will stick. What you played before is like, okay, well, I didn't like that, I like this better. And it will just kind of form by itself as you're playing it, because you'll hear different things as you build on it. So tighten up the riffs and then tighten up the transitions from one part to the next. That's where you can have what I call these little transition riffs. So an example of that, a good example is when we went from that A with the F and the G when we arpeggiated the notes, then we go into the alternate picking of the B power chord, maybe do a little transition riff like this here. You see how I added just a couple of little notes in between before we transition to that piece. So that's just an example of what you can do. You don't have to do that. Sometimes just going from that part to that part, from that chord to that chord or that note to that note. But there are other times where you might think, man, something's missing here. And one thing, if you don't want to do that on guitar, you could have something like this. We went right into it, but you could have the bass guitar have a little run that it does as a transition too. So think about that. And I know we're going into a different level of writing here, but also think about the other instruments involved too. The guitar doesn't always have to do every single thing. Sometimes when you got those power chords just ringing out, maybe you go back to this and you just let them ring out. So I can kind of hear the bass as you let that chord ring out. Something like that. And my voice to bass is not a very good one, but you get the point. Give the other instruments room to kind of breathe and carry the song in certain parts as well. So yeah, put all this together. I want you to build on that one riff that you wrote and make it into something that's cool, something that you can appreciate and be proud of. This is your music at the end of the day. And I'll say this, my biggest goal for every guitar player is to just focus on your own style. Focus on developing your own style. Don't try to play like this person or sound like this person because that's already been done. Why do you want to do what's already been done? You have your own style, your own riffs, and your own music. It's already inside of you. So the best thing you can do is to continue to develop that and just release that. Let that out. Get it out there. So one last note, no pun intended. If you're not part of my Guitar Academy, the Jason Stallworth Guitar Academy, check that out. That might be something you want to get into. It's already helped so many people get to their next level, and not just learning another technique or learning another riff. Of course, there's a lot of that involved as well. But the big thing is I help you develop your own style of playing. Again, because that's the most important thing you can do as a musician, and I would venture to say as a human being. You are your own person. So be your own guitar player as well. I hope this lesson helped. Do check out the links in the description here. I'll see you on the next video. As always, keep it metal and keep playing music.